From Season 3, Episode 6, titled Scar Tissue. The episode opens on the Matthews house. Tabitha is staring out the window during the night. Jim wakes up and tries to get her to come back to bed. This leads to the two fighting. Jim brings up the divorce, and she reminds Jim that she was alone even before Thomas's death. The two hear a monster or two outside shrieking. This brings them out of their fight. Jim decides to sleep on the couch downstairs. The next morning, Julia and Tabitha are talking in the kitchen. Julia lets her know that she and probably everybody in the whole town heard their fight. She's getting used to it and doesn't want to hear Tabitha's excuses. Jade and Boyd are in the bar. Jade asked Boyd to come there because he said he had important news. He's been analyzing the bottle tree's numbers, and he has several ideas about what it could be, and he mumbles and murmurs about quantum events. Boyd brings up the other bottle tree that him and Sarah found in the woods. He mentions that one of the bottles had a number in it that said 1864. Jade rustles through all the numbers from the other tree and realizes there's a matching slip to go along with the other one. Henry surprises Victor in his room, wanting to get to know his son some more. Victor kind of shrugs him off because he has to go find the ventriloquist doll that Christopher owned. He believes the doll can tell them some information about getting home. Doesn't want Henry to come because he's going into the cave with the monsters, so it could be dangerous. You can see their bond starting to form slowly. Kenny brings the remaining supplies from the ambulance to the medical center. Mary and Christy seem pretty happy to have the extra supplies and equipment. Boyd and Kenny have a little talk where Boyd checks in on Kenny, and we can see that he's still weighed down emotionally. Boyd enters the medical center. He overlooks Randall, seemingly in pain while he sleeps. Boyd then attempts to sneak out. On his way out, Christy gets him, and we learn that in the ambulance there was a portable ultrasound machine. Christy tells Boyd the next time he sees Fatima to send her way. Fatima and Ellis are talking after the last episode where Fatima revealed to Ellis she's been eating the rotten food. You can tell Fatima feels really shameful about this. She wants to let it go and see if it passes. Boyd shows up to tell them about the ultrasound machine, and he can sense something is wrong. Tabitha finds Donna at the hotel's pool. She's throwing rocks into the hole to cover up Dale's body. The two of them reminisce about Dale. Donna is empathetic towards Tabitha for how the town hall meeting went. Tabitha worries that she wasted her only opportunity to get help, and Donna tries to reassure her that she did the best she could. Donna also suggests that Tabitha not waste the second chance that she's been given to spend more time with her children. Victor and Henry head towards the cave. When they reach the main opening of the cave, Victor wants Henry to stay outside, and Henry says that he looked for Victor long enough and he's not going to lose him to something like this, so he joins him in the cave. Victor has a little case full of army men, which he plans to leave as breadcrumbs so he can find his way out. Fatima and Ellis have told Boyd about her strange cravings. He tries to tell them that they have a ultrasound machine now so they can get some more answers. Fatima doesn't want to see, she wants to wait. Randall wakes up in the medical center, comforted by Mary. She needs to change his bandages, and he's obviously super pissed off. Randall wants to see how bad his face looks after being sewed up, so Mary gives him a mirror, and she gives him a minute to be alone. Eventually, he does look at himself. Kenny catches Julia smoking pot behind her house. We can tell that he's still missing his parents, and he's having a hard time dealing with the change. He's looking for a screwdriver that's been in the same place forever, and he can't find it, so he's growing disconnected from the house. Victor and Henry go deeper into the cave. They reach a big opening, and it looks kind of familiar, although there's nothing there. No monsters, no puppet, no table, nothing. Victor decides that him and Henry need to push further into the cave. Boyd talks with Ellis outside. Boyd tries to comfort Ellis. Eventually Fatima joins them, and they head to the clinic. Jade's made it to the second bottle tree. The bottles are a little higher this time, so he's having a hard time getting them down. Then the entity or a ghost or whatever, a guy named Dead Tom shows up, and he's wiping a glass. like a bartender does, and him and Jade talk, trying to discourage Jade, saying that the bottle tree is, it's not special, it doesn't have anything to do with this place. And eventually he tells Jade that he's going to have to sober up to beat this place. Ethan is reading when Tabitha comes in. They talk about what he's reading and have a little bit of chit chat, and then Ethan asks about if the Chens were happy when they got married. Tabitha can tell this is because he heard the two of them fighting last night, so she tries to comfort him through that. And then she hears some rumbling upstairs, and she asks Ethan if anybody's there, and he says no. When she goes to investigate, she's cornered by ghost children, and they're all mumbling the same thing. As they're about to get her, Ethan comes around the corner, and they're not there. She's just seeing and hearing them. A small scene here, Kenny and Donna meet up by the pool, and Kenny asks if there's room at Colony House. He's grown more disconnected from the house, and he wants a new place to lay his head. Ethan and Tabitha show up at the bar to talk with Jade and offer help with his puzzle. He's gotten all the numbers from the other tree, and we now know that all the numbers match. The writing might be different from tree to tree, but there's all the same numbers, and there's repeating numbers. So Jade thinks it's some type of pattern, and analyzing them further might provide them with a key to escape. Mary gives Randall some cream to put on his wounds whenever he changes his bandages. He confronts her about their time in the dungeon. Randall's been spending a lot of time alone on the bus, so Mary invites him to stay with her and Christy at the clinic. Victor and Henry venture deeper into the cave. They eventually come across a room full of objects: the wheelchair, the table, the chair, the puppet, which they need, and a sleeping monster. They go in. Victor goes to get the puppet when Henry sees his wife's scarf on the table. His sounds cause the monster to awake, and another one appears. She says to Victor that if he keeps coming down here, they may not let him leave, and the two of them rush out of the cave. Julia talks to Randall outside of the bus while he's moving out to move in with Christy and Mary. The two of them talk about their time when they were in the trance. Victor and Henry make it back to Victor's box truck hideout. Victor wants the doll to tell them some stories, and Henry is hesitant that the doll can speak. At the clinic, they start Fatima's ultrasound. At first, we think they see something wrong, and then we learn that Fatima, in fact, is not pregnant. When Fatima learns this, she freaks out. Ellis starts to spill the beans on her cravings, and we cut away. Elgin is working on a collage of photos of the people of Colony House. He found a Polaroid camera last episode, and he's been putting it to use. When analyzing the photos, he sees the kimono lady again. This time she says she can help them escape. Back at the bar, Ethan and Jade are analyzing the numbers, and Ethan points out some of the numbers are backwards. While they're looking at the table, Tabitha sees a drawing of the sigils, or like mannequin things out front of the log cabins at the lake. She starts to have flashbacks and realizes she's always had dreams about this place. This is where the episode ends.